and wanting who have come to stream. Anything is possible at my stream. You can do anything at my stream. The infinite is possible on my stream. The unattainable is known on my stream. Welcome to my stream. This is my stream. Welcome to my stream. Welcome. This is my stream. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to my stream.
What's up, everyone? Bradley Jack Design here. Just tweaking my lights a little bit to get into the bungle spirit. Here we go. Oh, we make our front light even that color. Sounds good. Welcome. All right. Oh, I don't even know where you guys are. I don't even have. I'm all over the place today. I don't even have your chat up. All right, we got chat up. I can chit chat and talk to you guys now. Alrighty. Cool. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna, I don't know, make something cool with Joe Burrow. Hopefully we make something weird. You know, who knows? So I've got a couple photos of Joe Burrow. I haven't really done anything with them other than I did some slight edits. So I do need to cut them out still. But we can figure out which ones you want to use. But I think they're kind of cool, so we will go from there. I actually really like how these came out. I used a slightly different preset. Oops. I think it looks cool. It's actually using my BJD2 red added, because I really just used the BJD2 one. So I wanted to try something different. I don't even know if it adds red. I think it takes away red, actually. I don't really know. I don't remember. But I made it look like this, and I added a little bit of a selective color, so I think it looks cool. So I don't have like any inspiration for what we're gonna do today. I just kind of want to, I don't know, mess around and make something weird. Use some, I don't know, displacement maps that we like to use, stuff like that. See if I can get touch portal to work. My computer is this weird thing where like I reset it, but then like this basic app just says it loads and then it just actually never loads. And that's how I know if the stream's going to work or not. Because if that works, then everything else theoretically works and falls into place. We got Garrett here, OG member of the mod squad, as they like to call themselves. When I mean they, I mean Henry. Alright, so let's just cut this out real quick. Do you guys have any suggestions as to what we can make? Really, here's what I'm thinking. I make so many cool, just nice compositions with a big guy and a little guy, which is just design sound, and it's good design, but it's not weird. I said, Bad Design Podcast posted and said, what are your goals for 2022? And I said, I want to get it weirder. So I really want to make weird stuff. Like Chris Charizard's been making some really weird, cool things, just exploring with Nike logos and photos and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's nice. That's what we all want to do. I could do something weird with type. We kind of did that with the Scary Terry a couple weeks ago. See, look how bad this is lagging. Like, I'm not even touching that. Man, okay. Let's keep it like that. Let's go in here. Alright, here we go. So, Matt Lang asked what people do who use the quick select. This is what I do. You know, Matt, if you see this, basically I use quick select to get the quick border around it, and then I use a nice hard brush with these general settings to get the rest. And I understand what you're saying with that feather. I think I use a 0.4 feather just because that's what Johnny uses, and he's the best, so figure keep it at that. But the photos themselves theoretically aren't crisp. You know, they're moving or stuff like that, so you can't really tell. I tend to prefer have everything super crisp as well. Hey, look, Henry's here. Henry's on break, so he doesn't have school. You know, that semester's over. So now he can watch me make cool things. Yeah, displacement maps are fun once you like get the hang of it. And they're really good for just experimenting, coming up with different displacement maps, seeing what different ones do. Even if you're not going to overlay or underlay something beneath it, like put it on a material or have like a light leak or fire manipulating it, they're a good way to just make things look a little wonky, so they're a little different. Like instead of having a square or a rectangle with just big sharp edges, you can use a displacement map and make them super jagged. What's up, Will Jenkins? Thank you for tuning in. I thought about doing an earlier stream today, but my brother came to town from Columbus, so I hung out with him for a bit, since we're in this weird time after the holidays. What's your idea, Garrett? It will really test me? Okay. Does it make something super simple or don't use any lens dirts? Oh, make something asymmetrical. Yeah. Yeah, I hate asymmetrical things. I'll try and do that. So the issue with like asymmetrical things, it's like, for me, I think it's, you know, they have movement left to right instead of movement from the center, alignment wise. And when you're working with something that is a tall figure, it's kind of hard to work asymmetrically. So I might change the composition to be wider than it is tall, just so it makes it easier to do asymmetrical things. But when you do that, I still, you know, I think in terms of movement, where do I want the eye to go? So usually I have it go left or right, depending on what it is. So I'll do that. I'll do that just to accept that. Oh yeah, I can show you guys how I did that. I'll show you guys how I did that real quick once I get this cut out. So I made this really dizzy design thing on Twitter. Trying to give my Discord a little bit of a challenge, just like trying to emote a word using just basic lines and stuff. And a couple people have done it, but you know, people have different schedules. So I did one that was dizzy that was super nauseous and it was disgusting to look at. So I can show you how I did it. It's pretty cool. I was trying to emulate something that you would see. I forget the exact term. There's a specific like logo. It's like from a movie they use this in. But it's like it's a specific graph. Man, why is it doing that? Got a little bit of lag. It's probably because I have the stream up, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna go in here and we're just gonna cut him a new pair of legs. Lottie dottie. Cut him a new pair of legs. When I use a big when I'm using a big brush like this, I'm just looking at the edge. I don't really care how large the brush is. We're probably going to mask a lot of this out because I don't want this hard edge at the bottom. We got this nice fine edge over here. You know, as you can see, it's super broken. Let's go back. I need my buddy Andy to be in here because he is a big Bengals fan. He actually just had his first child. Andy, I know you're not watching this, so congratulations. His wife would not let him name his child Burrow Mixon, so her loss. Okay, so this is clipped out. We're just going to create a clipping mask real quick of this. And also this photo is going to bode very well for So actually, let's make 3,556 by a height of 2,000, which is just 16 by 19. Okay, these are in here. Let me copy this and I'll paste it here. Save, delete. You're gonna let me do a lot of actual cool stuff with these photos. It's almost as bad as being a Giants fan. Yes, this is true. This is like a weird photo of Joe Burrow because he looks like constipated, so I don't know if I'm really gonna use it. This one's better. I feel like I've used this photo for something, or I've downloaded it, or I've seen it somewhere. Because I know I have, because it's a great photo of Joe Burrow. Alright, let me pull up Illustrator real quick. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me pull that up. I can show you. It does have a really nice natural flare. That's kind of fun, actually. Let me go to my design challenge. So I made this. I made this and it's dizzy, and it basically uses just kind of lines and shapes and stuff. So let me show you how I did that. I'm not going to do it with the waves. I guess I could do it with the waves. That doesn't matter. Here's how you can do that. I'm just going to do it with lines. So what I did was I basically just took a circle like this. Boom, circle. I'll just make it lines. And then I took this circle and I made it... I actually didn't do this specifically. This is what I was trying to do. So I'm going to take both of these. I'm going to give them the same stroke. Stroke of 1. Object, blend, make. Now it's doing that. But we can go to the blending options and we can change it to be whatever we want. So, you know, specify distance is good. So then it looks like that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what I did for this actually then. This is what I did. Made a circle, highlighted both of these. You go to object, path. I forget which one it is. I had to look this up just to verify how to do this. Replace spline. Replace spine. So now you have this, you know, sort of spine made up of that. So then if we make it smaller, you know, it looks like this. So that is the spine that it looks like. It should go all the way around. I don't know why it's only going to there. So then we'll take that. So basically I did that with just like a circle. So we're going to take that, and if you hit Shift Option Command D, you can scale it down. Let's scale it 75 and 75%. And then we're going to give it an angle of 45 degrees, so it rotates. I'm going to hit Copy. And then if you just keep hitting Command D, it'll just swirl it down into an oblivion. That's kind of what I did. I took basically a white circle, and then I took a black circle. I'm trying to think how I actually did this. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. So I think I actually took this. Let's put it right on the corner here. And if you use the rotate tool, and if you just find the middle of this, you can hold down the option key and click, and then you rotate it, you know, so many degrees. So I'm going to rotate it, you know, 10 times. And we'll just make this black and white, because this will give you an idea of how I did this. Give it a real chunky thing. Group together. Do that transform each. 50%, 50%. I'll give it an angle of like 30 degrees. I don't think it really matters. But then you hit copy, and then it spirals down back into oblivion. Dang it, Garrett. We're gonna have to completely destroy the stream and make a John Madden stream, aren't we? We're only like 14 minutes in, theoretically. But that's how I did that thing, so that's just fun. Great. Garrett ruined the whole stream by saying that John Madden died. Way to go. We can all blame you for breaking that information. A lot of people passed away today. Jeff Dickerson died, which is terrible. He's a Bear. He was a Bears reporter for ESPN. He passed away. Desmond Tutu passed away. It's not great. Joe Burr. What's up, Jaden? All right, I think that's good for that. We'll just do the select and mask and hope it doesn't break. I don't know how you guys go about doing like face masks. You know, I just go in and, you know, part of it is like, depending on the background, do I get this highlight part? I think half the time I don't get it because it's on a really white background, and I just cut it to this area. But like, I just go in here and get like general areas of it, because I can always draw straight lines. When you draw straight lines that are perpendicular, you get a nice sharp corner, so you should still be able to get a nice sharp corner. Some face masks are the worst. This one's not too bad, and the select subject did most of it. So, okay, that is his helmet. Sometimes I have to zoom out to be like, I don't know what this is because I'm zoomed in too much, you know. I like this corner. You know, what are we gonna do here? Let's just kind of go like this. Maybe we can just put Rip John Madden here somewhere. I don't know. Turn this into a Madden cover. Hello, Heston. Okay, I think this is part of it, actually. Get rid of that. Go around his nose. Do one of these. Sharp. Click. A lot of what I do when I clip this stuff out is just like, if I think it looks weird, I'm going to try and fix it. It's like a lot of it just after time is touch and feel. And just knowing, like, that doesn't look right. Why does that not look right? Let me try this. And that's why when people make something and they, like, cover up part of someone's face, I just look at it and go, that looks weird. How about we don't do that? I want to see their face. Their face is important because it's something that the viewer is going to relate to. Because they also probably have a face. So... Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Did you guys all have a wonderful Holly Jolly Christmas? Or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa? Or whatever you celebrate. Non-denominational holiday. What is it, Solania? Is that what Christmas is around? I forget what it's actually called. Originally. Pop this down. Basically making sure that all these lines are smooth. Like this is kind of jagged because it doesn't have the label, so we're just going to smooth that out. Pretty smooth. Let's make this a little bit more sharp like that. Don't really know what's going on here, so we'll just kind of go like this. Maybe go like that. What is part of his jersey and what is his neck? So I'm trying to figure out, where's his jersey, where's his neck? I've got his neck, I've got his back, I've got his jersey. Now this crack is what I have to do. Had a pretty good Christmas. A lot of family hanging out, essentially. Nobody was sick. I don't think anyone has gotten sick, so that's a win for this year. Got some nice Bears stuff. Got a nice Justin Fields QB1 jersey. Didn't ask for one. I don't really need anything. I don't need a Justin Fields jersey. It's fun to have one, though. That's cool. I can wear it after Big Dick Nick is done. Holding on to the reins. I feel like the Bears probably shouldn't play Justin Fields the rest of the year. I feel like a lot of Bears fans, I think, agree with that. Just because we're out of the playoffs. We're pretty much, I mean... We went for 2 against the Seahawks, which I thought was the good move because there's literally nothing to lose. We're not going to make the playoff. It's really just spoiling Garrett's Giants from getting a better draft pick. So that's all we're doing now is playing spoiler to a top 10 draft pick. It would actually be pretty humorous if Nick came out and just won the last 2 games. Or how many ever games we have left. I guess it's week 17, last 2 games. Oh, we got to play you this weekend. Yeah, I'm in the championship of fantasy football, and I've got David Montgomery. I thought about picking up the Giants defense, or the Bears defense. I think I have the 49ers defense right now, and they play Houston. And Houston's kind of bad, but like they also just put up a bunch of points, didn't they? So it's kind of hard to figure out. I think that's good. One of these, one of these. Save and go back. Okay, so right now we've got two. Here's what's great. So we have these two photos of Joe Burrow, and he's wearing the same jersey, so that's good. We also have this other photo of him, and I think he has the same jersey. Yeah, so that's cool. So we'll use these photos because he's wearing the same jersey. We have a lot of black in the front, which means we can use the background as predominantly white or predominantly orange, and it should look good together. Well, let's hit select subject and see what happens. Yep. What's up, Jared? Go Bears. How's it going, Go Bears? I'm obligated to say that whenever Jared hops into the channel. If you guys haven't listened to any of Jared's podcasts, go do that. The Creative Process, you can find it on his Twitter account. I am on an episode, and I forget what we talked about. We talked about my 365, which right now is a good time to, if you want to start a 365, gear up. A couple days from now is a good time to start. Any day is actually a good time to start. Jared's also doing a 100 designs in 100 days. It's fun to see the tiny improvements day after day. He'll really start to see improvements like towards the end of it. Like 3 months in. Like, dang. I am putting in work to get better, and I'm getting better. Imagine the consequences of my actions. How about that? And we will forgive him for being a Packers fan. Mainly because I've made things for the Packers, so I can rub it in his face. But we're not going to do that. I would never gloat about that. Let's see how many buttons I can push with Jared hopping in here. I mean, what does he care? His team's 12-3. I can say whatever I want. He's like, whatever, we're 12-3. Ball don't lie. Which is factual. But I'm sure Aaron Rodgers had a nice Christmas alone with no family. Because that is the kind of guy he is. Couldn't be my quarterback. So Miles, the main thing I did is like, what is that? Is that part of his helmet there? Hold on. Yeah, I guess that's the back of his helmet. Alright, so Miles, what I did was there's important things to know. One, do not design for likes on Instagram or Twitter. And do not design for anyone else's approval. Just design for yourself to get better. And basically, I did them in sets of 9 and used a different team for each set, or different team or sport or event. Like the Winter Olympics were happening in 2018 when I did my 365. So I did some Winter Olympic stuff. But I basically thought I broke each of those down into 9 different players so I could post a pretty little square after each round. And that way you won't get tired of doing the same team over and over and over again. And you can get suggestions from, your followers. Just ask. It'll get you engagement too. Just be like, hey, who do you guys want to see for my 365 project I'm doing? Because they're going to want to see you to do their team. So I did that. And then I just found things I didn't know how to use in Photoshop, like the gradient map tool. And I was like, okay, let me use the gradient map a bunch in these 9 designs. And then you basically get better understanding of how certain adjustments, filters, and stuff like that work. So you can be like, I'm going to try and use displacement maps a bunch for these. And it doesn't matter what they look like at the end. It's just basically I made this using a bunch of displacement maps. Does it look good? I don't know. I mean, my designs, most of my designs I hate that I did in my 365 now because I'm at a different level of design. Some of them I like. Some of them I like a lot. And they're really successful. So that's what I did. Basically just use it as a tool to get yourself more acquainted with things in Photoshop. Like I do these every week, you know, these streams. Like a lot of it is to showcase and show you guys how I design, and you can learn and pick up little things I do. I also don't have any coworkers, so you know it's nice that I can talk to you guys in some sort of aspect, and then get, you know, visual messages in word form back. So it's kind of like I'm talking to coworkers. But then, you know, I use it as a way to learn things too. You know, I got this new Wacom tablet. So, you know, I used this as an excuse to use it. You know, oh, we're going to practice lighting. And stuff like that. I really should have cut these out beforehand. This is going to be completely off. Hold on. Okay, good. This is taking me way too long. Can't rush perfection, though. Draw, 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 draw. Basically, and when you're doing a project like that, you need to make it so it is a priority in your day. To me, it got to the point where, like, I did it when I worked at an 8 to 5 job. So I was working full time and did this basically when I got home. So as though once I got home from work, if I didn't design something, it would start to bug me. So do that, you know, make it a priority. What's up? How's it going, Brad? Photoshop's being a little scuffed right now, just kind of like lagging behind, so it's not really poggers right now. Just gonna keep using, been watching too much Twitch, so I'm picking up on the lingo people use. They use way too many memes of that frog that like racist people use. Pepe the frog. I'm like, is Pepe the frog not like super racist or like super white supremacist anymore? Has he been reclaimed? Because I thought it was like people wanted to get away from using Pepe the frog. But what do I know? Thank you, Garrett. I do not know the proper way of pronouncing that word, which I have Googled in the last week to know that it's pretty much LOL, but not LOL. So that is fun. Okay. I think that's good. I think that's where we started. See, then we got this part right here I need to get rid of. We're going to do a little bit to this. Like, you can see based on my editing that I did, you can see all this JPEG artifacting. You see all these squares. That's bad. I think it's a lot of it is coming from the editing I have done. So we're going to try and fix that. And then we'll straighten that out a little bit. Thank you for clarification on that, Garrett. You know I desperately needed it. Alright, so here's what we got going on. Terrible JPEG artifacting. So let's go into the original photo. Let's zoom in a whole bunch and hope this doesn't scuff. See, we're going to keep using scuff now. And we're going to go to the neural filters. At least I can quit out of Touch Portal. That is just covering everything. Remove JPEG artifacts. Let's do high and see what happens. It's going to take 4 minutes. Alright, we have 4 minutes to chat now. Until this comes back. So here's what we have going on. We're going to do an asymmetrical design that's wider because Garrett challenged me to do that. Probably going to have his name spelled across it because that's super easy to do then. I need to find a couple logos of the Bengals and we're going to use that as well. I might as well pull up team color codes. Pull up some Bengals stuff. Bungles. I will say, as a non-Bengals fan, the exclamation of "Who Dey" is super annoying. Who they think gonna beat them Bengals? I also just feel like it's grammatically bad. But beggars can't be choosers. Alright, let's see if I can find a Bengals logo on my computer. Hey, Bengals logo. Okay, which one is this? I think it's just the B with stripes in it. I think I'd rather find their head mascot, kind of like the Bears have their C and the other mascot. What's up, Nick? We're doing some nice neural filters. Clean my glasses off in the meantime. Did you guys watch the lovely Grinch Discord video? I tried to make it just cringy enough to be watchable, but still like, I don't understand this guy. Why did he do this? But also, you are blessed with the insanity of this. This is really taking forever. I want to output this to a smart filter. Please do not reset everything. Okay, good. Great. There's a couple times in that video where I feel like I'm talking more like a Scottish person than the Grinch, but beggars can't be choosers. There was a girl I used to work with my first job out of college, and whenever I tried to talk like Sean Connery, she said my jaw hurt. It would hurt her jaw when I talked like that. Critique is what I mean. You need some good feedback. I mean, you're in the Discord, aren't you? Toss it in there. Toss it on there. I can put it in the video. You guys aren't aware I'm doing. I have a Discord, and weekly I do a video based on submissions from people in my community. I do those once a week, Tuesday to Tuesday. You put one design in there, I'll tell you what I think about it. Give you some honest feedback. Good or bad. If you have notes, if I don't have any notes. Stuff like that. I mean, I really want this to process so we can spend the next hour actually making something instead of just spending 30 minutes clipping out something. Well, you want feedback on your latest design. Is it on your Instagram page? Is it the Spider-Man design? Is that what we're talking about? I think I found it. Oh, we have 8 seconds left. Hopefully this looks better and it doesn't look terrible. Wow, look, it looks exactly the same and we just wasted 8 minutes. Donut wall, come on, Garrett. I can set up in here to have actual subs like on Twitch. You guys really want me to. Alright, let me change this. So we're gonna go in here and I'm actually gonna up. I've got these settings are all so blown out. Oh, let me just make that like 20. I think that's hurting things. Texture's hurting. Detail, I'm actually gonna add a little bit of noise reduction because this photo just sucks. The photo doesn't actually suck, it's just that it has a lot of grain based on the photo. So here are the 3 photos. So we used, what is that? What is this? What is all this crap over here? Get out of here. Get out of here, guy. Nobody wants you here. Come on, Joe Judge. You're gone. Alright, so here we go. We got Joe Burrow. We can do a nice black background. I think we should do a nice orange background because then the jerseys would pop on that. So we'll go orange. Door hinge. This is the orange that the Bengals use. Let's do this. I'm going to duplicate it and set it to multiply. And then just give it a little bit of a gradient top to bottom because this looks awesome. Let me keep hitting F until you guys can't see anything that I'm doing. There we go. This actually looks nice too, based on the screen, based on like how all this looks. That's cool. Okay, so we want movement to the side. We're gonna do a left to right design that's asymmetrical. We got the Bengals logo that looks like this. Boom, Bengals logo. So this is what happens when I get logos like this. I look and see what can I use from these. So like I can use, let me shorten this up a little bit. You know, I can use this angle. So I have this specific angle of the Bengals logo. So now I have this sort of shape that I can use for something. You know, I could cheat, Garrett, based on your challenge of making this symmetrical. I can make it symmetrical left to right, but that doesn't mean I don't have to make it symmetrical top to bottom. You know, I can do this and sort of have this starting point in the background of some sort of, you know, way. This is actually kind of, if I flip it this way, it's kind of a arrow pointing that way. So let me group these together. Let's do based on the canvas. Let's notch it right in the middle. You know, I'm just trying to explain how you can use elements of a logo, you know, to work for stuff. So like, let me, so we can put this in the back. We got these three. So what do we want to do with these three? I think we want to use this as being our stereotypical big, bigger, biggest guy. Put him over here. The question is, what do we want to do? Do we want to have him, for some reason, I have to hold down shift now. So do we want him like this, where he's nice and clean, lots of padding, or do we want to have it so he purposefully hits the top? And I keep going to make it intentional. Because if we do that, then theoretically, I can take some black and put it over here, and then it starts something, or I can take some white and put it over here, so it's the start of something going on. So I think that's good. So then we can take this guy, put him in front. His arm just happens to fit, you know, beautifully right here. So in the composition, just at this specific size, you know, his arm fits great right there. And then we've got Joe Burrow here at the end. Like usually I would put Joe Burrow down here if we were doing a composition up and down, but we're doing symmetrical. So I need to figure out what I want to do with that Joe Burrow. As you can see, it's just completely scuffed. You know, I would probably want them to overlap. You know, theoretically, if this were if we make a nice little triangle, rotate it like this. If we just put the lines of, like the bolts of his helmet together, you know, we can do this, and then theoretically, we would then have his bolt line up with that. So it's all one big line, spaced out pretty evenly. You know, big brain stuff. So we got our nice little AT&T thing going on here. Now, one thing I see is that this orange looks a lot deeper. So I'm actually going to take this selective color. I'm going to get rid of the, I'm not going to add any black to the red. I'm just going to make it look like that. And I think it'll look a little bit more even. Let me go back. But now the skin tones don't match. Let me hit Command Z. Oh, see, the skin tones are different in general, so I might have to fix that manually. So I've got these two arrows. You know, I can just kind of have them go, maybe I have them go across. Maybe I use an arrow from the Bengals logo. So let's go like this. New smart object via copy. We'll double click that, which is an SVG file. We'll open that up in Illustrator and make something. We'll just pick apart parts of it that we can use. Really, like this part of the B is what I want. We'll zoom in a bunch. You know, I just want this. Yeah, I just want this though. New. What? Sorry, I was hitting the wrong buttons. Paste. Okay, I don't want this. I just want this. Okay. Alright. Hide. Maybe we hide this. Hide the Burrows. Paste. What's up, Tyler? Stretch this up. Let's change the height to be negative so then it stripes over like that. So we can kind of Bengal stripe this down maybe. Kind of like this. When we add these guys back, we've got some Bengal stripes over here. You know, I don't know. It continues over. You know, this line, I can move it up. It's directly in his eyesight. So maybe we explode this. And it just crosses over through all of their eyesight. So it's like guiding. So what is happening is our eyes are going to follow the heads. Head. But then it's also going to follow this black. And then boom, right here is where we're going to put, you know, Joe Burrow. Or whatever we want the text to be if we want to put text on this. Maybe we want to do, you know, we could make the list where he's like number 4 now on the list of most passing yards in a game. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4 Joe Burrow, 5, 6, 7, 8. That might be a good idea. I think we might do that. Because that'll give us a nice asymmetrical design with a purpose. So I'm gonna go to the selective colors. I'm gonna go to the yellows. I want to see what happens if we add some stuff to this. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to match these skin tones. So it's red and yellow. So I should be able to take away cyan and maybe add a little bit of black. And this is on everything, so it's completely messing up. So I think that's too much red. I think that looks a little bit better. I think we need a little bit more yellow, so we're going to take away some blues. We're going to drop this down to like 20. And then we're going to invert this selection. We're just going to paint it on his face. I think spine, I think it might work for a pattern brush. I think if you have a brush on an outside of an object, you might be able to replace the spline. Basically, when you're replacing the spine of something in Illustrator, you're basically replacing the brush. You should just be able to use a pattern brush on a shape. I think I get what you're saying though, because you want it to be big at the top and then small at the bottom. I need to use Illustrator more, to be honest. Okay, let's do this. I want Pro Football Reference. Great. Let's do the top 10. That way we don't have to put that bum Derek Carr in this list. Okay, this list is too... Hold on, this list is... I copy and pasted too many things. Oh yeah, I copy and pasted way too many things. Hold on. Okay, so we got Norm Van Brocklin. We've got 2 is Matt Schaub in 2012. We got Warren Moon. We've got Joe Burrow, but we're going to replace Joe Burrow with his own name in a different, slightly bigger font. Then we've got Ben Roethlisberger. Boomer, Esiason, Dan Marino, Matty Snapback, Jared Goff, and Tom Brady. So those are the top 10. So we'll just... Oh, I did not want to do that. What did I... Oh, I just changed the font. Okay. I thought I made it italic. Sort of artificially, which I do not want to do. Okay, so we got Norm, we got Matt Schaub, we got Warren Moon. I want this to be pretty centered top to bottom, so I'm looking at where Norm Van Brocklin and Tom Brady are. We've got our thing here, which is good. We're going to type in Joe Burrow. You guys got a font in mind? Let's use a different font. Let's use not a crazy font, but like, let's use a crazy font. I want this to line up, so that's good. It's like right away this would be fine because it has contrast. It's white, it's not black. So you're going to look at this one.
I don't know who Jay Cutler is.
Hey, what's up, Carlos De La Cruz? Thank you for subscribing and having that pop up on stream because it doesn't happen often. But I love when it does. Okay, we're going to use a fancy font. When I mean fancy, I mean something fancy. Probably going to go more lowercase, and we're going to do something with a serif. This has been like super broken. Like it's only been showing me like one serif. So let's see here. There's so many different freaking fonts on here. Do I have Mrs. Eves? Or is it Mrs. Eames? Hold on. They're over here. You can't see what I'm looking at. I want Mrs. Eves bold. I don't want it all caps. I do not want this font. This is definitely not the font I want. I also want everything to be lowercase, just because. This is going to be a lowercase design. Hi, fonts. Can you come over here so everyone can see the kind of fonts I'm trying to find? Thank you. The answer is no. I can't even see them either because my mic is directly in the way. So I have to like scroll down. Can I just do this? I can just do this, right? Yeah, we're gonna do this. Alright, we're doing it the slow and steady way. The fonts are also now covering your lovely comments, so I can't see them. It's not bad. Baskerville. Baskerville has a very specific G. It has a gap in between the top and bottom. Or it has the gap down here. So in college, that's how we always knew what it was, because it had that specific Baskerville. It had this gap in this G. Like when I was in college, we used to have to, we did typography tests. Okay, so Joe Burrow. Okay, let's make this back to these small. Thanks, Clamps. Okay. I have so many fonts on here. This one's actually not bad. That's freaking Druck again. Maybe we'll just use Druck, but we'll use lowercase Druck. It's a problem. I just love condensed fonts. I want to just search by font, by serif fonts, but it hasn't been working correctly. I'm going to redo some Adobe stuff at the new year, so maybe it'll work then. Let me move this so I can see your guys' comments. Okay, let's start back. Let's start down here. Well, this is why everyone hates Noto Sans, because it's just in here like 600 times. Okay. Yep, it should be. We were gonna get to spell checking after I figured out the font. It's Matt Schwab. You need to go to him for financial advice. That's clearly what I was trying to go with. Wait, why are we back up to the top already? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, when I scroll down between them, you start back at the top? That's a bunch of crap. We could easily spend like 40 minutes just trying to find a font. Like, easy. We're not going to. I just want to use a font that, like, you don't see. Like, that's what I'm saying. I want to get weird. I just want to use, like, something weird that you wouldn't see on a sports graphic. But I don't want to use something that's just, like, super scripty. I just want to use a nice sans serif font. so we can figure this out. Yeah, I could just go to Adobe Fonts. Like, most of these are Adobe Fonts, so I'm just trying to find one I like, because I have a lot of fonts on here. There we go. Now I can hit down and it works, and it actually listens to me. How do you guys usually go through fonts and find them? There's actually a really nice way of doing this. Hold on, let me see if I can share this with you. Share this with you. I also need to fix this color. There's this website called wordmark.it that you can get a Chrome extension for. So I can just type in Joe Burrow and it shows me all the fonts on my computer. And I can just scroll down and figure out which one I like. It's super convenient. And also, yes, rip John Madden. Alternate Gothic, I kind of like that. Compressed. Oh, I can go like this and select it. And then we can filter through selected fonts. We used to use this all the time in college because it's super nice. This wouldn't be bad. B, I used to use that a lot in my 365. You know, Blair looks kind of nice. It's all caps though, but it still looks kind of nice. Block Gothic doesn't look bad. I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like, so I'm just trying to think. I want it to be more like playful, you know, which is why I wanted a nice serif font, you know, like that or something, but not that bold. You can use a Grinch font, you know, that's always going to be fun. Let's do that. Hellenic wide wouldn't be too bad. It's a little too wide though. Kenyan Coffee's not bad. So this is a good way. Again, this website is called wordmark.it. You have to install the extension on Chrome, which is why I have Chrome open now instead of Safari. But it'll show you all your fonts if you just type out a word. I think you can pay a little bit to get it. You can do it like white on black and stuff like that. I like Poplar. Might use that. We can hit filter selected fonts. Here are the fonts we like. So I can go in here and I can type in now Poplar. Pop. You know, like that doesn't look. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. This is crisp. Do I want it to be crisp? Crisp. Strong. Smooth. Sharp. Let's do sharp. Alright, let's pump that up there. Let's change Matt Schaub's name to Schaub. Let's change all of these to Poplar. Standard black. Now they are all black. Got Joe Burrow. So I gotta figure out how I want to do the ratings now. You know, theoretically I would hire this. Duplicate this, move it over, have this aligned to the right. Kind of like this. Then do like 1, 554, 2, 527, 3, 527. I didn't even type 3. I just typed in point. Joe Burrow's going to be 4 indifferent. 5 is 522. 6. It's actually 5 and 5. They actually are tied. I got to fix that up the top. Is that technically tied for second? Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 2, 5, 5, 7, 8, 9, 9. This is actually what I want to do. Because this is for Joe Burrow. There's space there. It's the world's smallest space. This is the list of the NFL passing yards single game leaders. So Joe Burrow just hit number 4 on that list because he passed for 525 yards. Yeah, Chris, we're going to add more probably. Like, this area is real blank over here. Now, there's a lot of text, though, so that's fine. What is it? Oh, hold on. Let's see what's another font I kind of liked on here, because I feel like it might be too thick. Alternate Gothic compressed. Alternate Gothic compressed. Now, there's a billion of these. So, like, there's regular, you know, maybe we use bold. This can really be in the same... I don't know why I did that. It's fine. Well, I can make these black then, I guess. So then the list starts off like that. Let's give these a little bit of spacing behind them, between them. Are these lined up? No, they're not even lined up. That's a problem. There. I think that's better. Okay, I want to make sure that nothing touches this arrow. So we can go like that and be like, boom, Joe Burrow. See that? It's this guy right here, Joe Burrow. I feel like the lettering, the 4 is weird. So I feel like I need to align these up a little bit better. Like, that's a little bit better. It's almost as if I want it to be this size right here, you know? That way there's consistency. 4. So then this can just say Joe Burrow. I think that looks better because I can line Joe Burrow up here and I can just make this 4 white then. So then it lines up. That looks better. So here's what we're going to do for the numbers then. Yeah, Joe Burrow. Yeah, it's Joe Burrow, like Foxborough or Hillsborough, where I live in Springboro. Kind of, not really. Okay, so then this is 554. Let's make this huge. So let's make this black. We will align this in no way, in no shape or form. So we're going to put this behind like this so you can still see it. And we're going to give it a fill of 0, and we're going to give it a stroke. We're going to give it a bevel and emboss. We're not getting, I said I kind of wanted to make today like weird. So I told my wife, it's like, we're going to get weird on stream today. She's like, what does that mean? I said, I don't really know. We're going to do that. Then we're going to put these in a group together and set it to overlay. So then you can barely see it, but it's there. You know it's there, and I know it's there. It's our little secret. Okay, so we've got that. So then I can take this and just duplicate it. I knew that was going to happen. I just want to line it up with Matt Schaub, kind of. And this is 27. So really what I want to do is I want to line it up so it takes up the last 3 letters. So I'm going to line it up with the last 3 letters of each. And that's how we're going to do it, except Joe Burrow is going to be different because he is the guy we're highlighting. So 527, 527. We'll skip over Joe Burrow. We'll go down here. I think it's 522. Go down here. So actually, if you look at this, so we have it set to overlay. So the overlay of white, as you can see, is significantly brighter up here because the white is making the white brighter. It's making these brighter, but you can't tell. So we might change that. What we got? 20, of course, 20. Shoot. Matty snapback. It's actually kind of cool how it's dwindling down a little bit. You can see it less and less and less. The visibility is fewer and fewer and fewer. Except not fewer. And then this bum Jared Gorf threw for 517. Can't even see these. I'm gonna have to fix that then. And then Tom Brady. See, so it's just overlay. So this is normal. This is overlay. You know, normal doesn't look great. I'm gonna cycle through the blending modes to see what might look best. So here's overlay, soft light, hard light, vivid light. So the issue with how it looks is based on these. I think if I gave these a different stroke, like what if I give it a stroke of orange? And I applied that to all of these. One we're not going to be, it's going to completely disappear pretty much all of these. As you can see is happening. It's disappearing them all. I keep doing the same ones, I think. Hold on. 527. I can see 527. So that's bad. So I want to take this stroke and apply it, apply it, apply it. Okay. So now we have this set to. This is set to overlay. Okay, so this is darker, so that's not going to work. Maybe I just set them to screen. So there, I'll set them to screen. Now they're all the same. We can see them. Good. That's what we want. So we want to take Joe Burrow. We want to do 525. We want to make a nice big font here in black. And then maybe we just make it a tinge bigger. Let's make it like 60. It's big enough, but small enough. I think that's good. So let's save. Wow, we haven't saved yet. Joe Burrow stat graphic. Let's do this under personal, 1212. Joe Burrow stat graphic. Working files. Okay. This is where we're at. That's great. Good, great, grand. So looking at this, you know, there's a couple things that I might want to change. I'm going to group these all together and make this text. So I feel like it's a little strong over here. I feel like these are it's a little large. You know, what if I set this to overlay? You know, that's not too bad. You know, I could put this behind him like that. You know, I want it so you can still read it, but I want to make it different than everything else. You can do 525. Maybe I duplicate it, set it to normal, give it no fill, and then we give it a stroke of white. Maybe we do give it that stroke of orange, and then we group that into something and set that to screen, and then like offset it like this, you know? Something like that. Like, is that impossible to read? A little bit. What if you put this in front of it and put that behind it? You can kind of read that. You're just trying to find different ways to present this number that make sense. So this is behind this. If I set this to normal, you know, and then we just set this stroke behind it, like, you kind of do one of these. You know, it's a little drop shadow of text. All right, so the text I want, so right now I'm looking padding on the side, which is fine. We've got this 4. Let's actually, can we take this whole thing and make it a little bit larger? So now we've got some intersection where you definitely see the 4, and maybe I can line it up a little bit better. So there's equal spacing between the 4. Then it reads Joe Burrow. And I think I honestly just want to do this and just do 525 right next to Joe Burrow's name, but just make it black. Give it one more space off the side. So it matches everything else, but is a little bit different. And I can take this, drop it down, move it over a little bit. Take this guy down, drop it down over a little bit. Take this guy, move it over. And take this stripe, add a little bit of more distance with that. Let's bring one up. Let's rotate it a little bit like this. I don't know, just have a little bit of some curvature to it. Just to have a little bit of, maybe not, maybe it's fine there. What I wanted to do is I wanted to have some text right here now. Blah, blah, blah. Dolores Umbridge, worst Harry Potter character. Fight me on it. Do. Zoom, zoom. Basically, I wanted to have the title here. So when you read it, you read NFL. I'm going to make this all lowercase because everything's lowercase. It's just like a thing we're starting. Oh, none of these are lowercase though, so we need to fix that. There. But I need to really fix it. Norm. Van. Maddie. Scob. What team did Matt Schaub do that on? Texans, okay. I say Matt Schaub's played for the Texans forever. Warren Moon, Joe Burrow. Scroll. Big Ben. I don't really care if I spell Big Ben's name wrong, just because it's Big Ben. So if I spell his name wrong. I like how I spelled Roethlisberger, and I think Esiason right the first time, but then I spelled Schaub wrong, and I misspelled Jared Gorf. So that's always fun. At the bottom, I should just put on there like Thomas Edward Brady. Just put Brady's full name. Come on, I deleted you. Okay, that's nice. So this is all good. So NFL NFL passing yards, single game leaders. Here's the thing. I kind of want to make NFL lowercase, but like, I guess that reads fine. Shorten this up a little bit. Put it right here like this. So then you're going to follow that over. So that's good. Whoops. Okay, how can we fix that? So these two match. Like this is bright. There's too much contrast. That's really what it is. There's too much contrast on this. Contrast. Let's do 0. Let's just do 0 contrast and see how that looks. I think it might be the selective color though. Let's just get rid of it completely and just see what this looks like. Yeah, it's bugging me a lot. So I can tell it's different. Maybe we just add some contrast with the other guys. Okay, so we need something in the background here. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vector smart object, I'm going to duplicate it and set it to 0. And I'm going to give this a stroke of genius on the inside. Just kind of like that. 2. We'll just flip it around. And to flip it around, we'll just do negative. Should theoretically flip it around. Can't really tell what it looks like. I have no idea where it's at. Okay, it's right there. So we're gonna rotate it so it crisscrosses. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. So I kind of just wanted it to be like more texture over here. Just kind of frame in this area. I'm going to put this in its own area and set it to overlay. And then you'll only see the tiny faintest line. It does absolutely nothing, so we're going to delete it. Okay, so we need Paul Brown Stadium. Bookmarks. It's not a nice photo of Paul Brown Stadium. So what am I looking for with a photo of Paul Brown Stadium? I'm looking for an interior shot of the right side of the stadium, essentially. So that stadium frames in the side. Now, does that photo exist? Maybe not. I also apparently searched Paul Brown Stadium exterior because I'm assuming I've searched for these terms before. This one's probably not too bad. This is a photo. It's a Walmart Cincinnati Bengals unsigned Paul Brown photo stadium. That's really weird. So we're not going to use that. We're going to use this photo. Gonna find a photo. Gonna take away scale. Gonna hit enter, and now it's really big. Three's Company 2. Working with Joey B. Industrial P. That is a Office reference. Johnny Money. There's no real answer to what is a good font. It really depends on what you want to use it for. There are a lot of fonts that a lot of designers use. You know, for instance, I use Dharma Gothic almost on everything. People use Druck or Tungsten as a font. Those are trendy fonts, I would say. I wouldn't say they're good fonts. Depends on what you want. Generally, Adobe has good fonts on their website to use because they are made well. They're not, you know, the kerning and tracking on them are correct. They're not funky. All right, so let's go back into this original photo. Yeah, Tungsten is what like everybody uses. Tungsten and Druck are used all the time. If you have a good font suggestion, you want to give it to them, toss it in the chat. And I will tell you that you are picking a good or bad font. Hello, Paige. Goodbye, Paige. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was spam. There are these bots that like immediately, as soon as I post something, they just post stuff like that. See, this could even use, you see, I see at least. And the words of Rosie O'Donnell and Elmo, do you see what I see? And you can't really from here. Filter gallery, I didn't want that. Neural filters. We're gonna hit this button called Noise Artifact Generator Removal. See how long this takes now. See how long we have 3 minutes to chit chat now about whatever you want. Tungsten's good. Yeah, I don't know. I like to use fonts that have a lot of different weights. So like, Termina is a good wide font. Titling Gothic is a good wide font. Druck has a bold and Druck has a wide font, which is good. Anything that you can get from condensed and tiny and compressed to wide and extended, that's a good font because you've got a lot of contrast in weights. So then you don't have to use 600 fonts in design. You can use one, use different weights, use different sizes and styles and stuff like that. I got this cool